This is my Bentley Continental GT, which I bought from the Truck Experience company a month ago. Since then, this car has seen quite a bit of the repairs, and since then I'm repairing this car to bring it back on the road since 2016. Well, at least that's what the last MOT says. So now in a previous video you've seen that we actually started the car, put it into the gears and drove off. Now I can actually reassemble all the interior and remove the roof lining, because I'm gonna be doing an upgrade on it, which you will find it out later on in the video, and obviously if the part's gonna arrive, because I'm not too sure if it's actually gonna arrive today or tomorrow, but fingers crossed it will. Let's take a car a bit outside and we can actually install the seat and yeah, clean up this mess. Funny just happened. Feels like that the battery would be flat, but the battery is actually not flat and it doesn't start. I mean, not even, there's no ignition. There's literally no ignition, nothing. So either way something is not right, or something is actually shortened. So I'm gonna try to disconnect the battery and connect it back and see if that's gonna help, but I do not see any lights or something. Okay, the batteries in here works, but in here it doesn't work. So when I'm getting into the car, I do not have any ignition and I cannot take the key out. Oh my god. So either way I cannot even push the car because it's stuck in a gear. And the key is literally doesn't respond to anything. One step forward, three more back. Well, it looks like we're still fighting some demons in the Bentley, because now I'm literally in a phase 1. Well, let's say 2, because we know that the car starts and drives, but electrical problems still somehow appeared. And I think that happened just because I washed the car. That's my thoughts, or it's shortened somewhere now. So I need to check all the fuses, everything, where it might be an issue. Just connected and disconnected the battery, and I heard ding. So either way, the negative or positive or something was not tight, and that's why the car didn't want it to start. So let's give it a go again. So the only thing I needed to do is, what actually I need to do is tighten the terminals of the battery. That's the only thing. So there's no demons, it's all good. Let's get it off the garage, because it's a nice day and it's not worth to keep the beast in a garage. Guys, there is 65% of you that watching my videos aren't subscribed to this channel. So make sure you're gonna subscribe to this channel, because I need to get 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So make sure you're gonna subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. Back to the video. Right, first things first. Let's start it up those terminals on the battery, because this might happen again. So this is now sorted. I hope that it's gonna work and the car is gonna start next time, and I won't need to run around and think, oh my god, there's still some demons inside. So now we can actually get onto the interior part. Oh, this is actually not the case of the battery, because I just shut the car down and all the ignition is disappeared again. Great! What the heck is going on again? Well, ignition appeared again. Something is... and it's again starting. So if I'm gonna shut the car down, again, all the ignition disappeared. And again, I cannot do anything at all. So let's wait a bit and see if the ignition is gonna appear again. Either way, something got really wet and I was shorting it, or something is else. I wish I would get my key back. Ignition again back. We can take the key out. We can put it in. There is ignition. I turn it off. Everything works. Put in the ignition. Start the car. It starts. Kill it. I still got ignition. What is going on? Let's try again. Alright, everything works. So started, everything okay. Killed the car. No ignition. Oh, I could take, this time I could take the key out, but again, there's no ignition. So what I'm trying now actually to do is to read the codes, because there's a lot of them. Gateway is 26 volts. So that means there is somewhere a small gremlin or shortened wire or something, and now the car acts strangely fancy. I think I'm gonna start calling this car Betty, because it started to act very strangely, like a mood swings. Oh, maybe I'm gonna start, or maybe I'm not gonna start. I don't know, I will see. Oh my god. Also, I need some fuel in this car because it's nearly empty tank, and I put 20 liters in it, and it's actually drunk every single liter. Now I'm almost on a empty tank. So it got quite few faults, I would say. Oh my god, it would take me days to read everything. Well, let's start with first one, engine control module number 1. Saying lost communication, lost communication, lost communication, lost communication. Oh my days. We just lost communication with every single control unit, everything. So I think what done actually, the battery was probably pretty much dead, and that's why I got a lot of faults. So let's do a quick erase and see what kind of the faults is gonna appear again. At the moment I got only a few faults left. Obviously I'm not happy about engine control module, because this one's still dropping me quite few faults, so I will need to investigate on this. So basically what I can do now, I'm still gonna be putting the interior back in a place, because it's just a complete mess, and I don't like that the seat is laying in a garage, as obviously you know I do not have a lot of space already. So I'm gonna try and put, what is that? Turbocharger, supercharger, wastegate, solenoid B, no signal communication, fuel injector, cylinder 9, open circuit, no signal, O2 sensor, heater control, camshaft position sensor, intake air temperature sensor 3, no signal. Those faults are keep coming back. I mean, before it was only cylinder 3 doesn't work, now the cylinder 9 doesn't work. This car is driving me nuts. Okay, I got the car out, obviously, because it's a nice day, so what's the point working in a garage? So now what I need to do, I need to reassemble everything in here that I took it off, because I was thinking that there might be an issue in here, but turns out it was only mixed up PCU wires. So I need to reassemble everything back in a place and then put the seat back. Right, first mission of the day, getting the fuse box and trims back at the rear. Now on the paper it's only 4 screws and 8 bolts. Easy, right? Yeah, except the access is absolutely awful. It's like the engineer said, let's hide it somewhere only contortionists can reach. Cheers for that. Once that's finally in, I'm on to the wiring loom. I had to peel off old electrical tape the other day so I could check if there is any broken wires. And guess what? Not a single wire was broken. Nope, the actual problem was something completely different, and honestly, it was so stupid it almost deserves its own episode. But hey, at least now the loom gets a fresh rub. Next up, the BCM cover. 9 screws holding this thing on. 9. I don't know what they thought was gonna happen back there. A hurricane? Then my favorite little moment, peeling the carpet back over it. Look at that, instantly looks cleaner, tidier, like the car finally forgives me for taking it apart. Now the glove box, oh my days, this thing, taking it out was bad enough, putting it back in, that's a full workout. It's heavy, it's awkward, and every connector has about 1 millimeter of slack. So everything has to be in a perfect place. I'm convinced the factory built the entire car around the glove box just to make sure no one ever removes it. Finally, after some like 3 or 4 hours, glove box back in a place, but I will need to replace it apparently because something is actually broken inside and it doesn't actually close very well. even though you're gonna say, oh, you might snap something. Maybe, I'm not guaranteed. I'm not a professional on this. That's why it's worth to subscribe my channel, because I am not a professional and actually I do not know what I'm doing. So that's being said, I can finally put the seat back for the very first time since I got the car. As this seat is actually sitting on the old engine for like a month or so. So I can't wait to actually put it back and see if there are any faults gonna disappear on the dash. And finally the seat, couple of electrical connectors to click in, 3 bolts at the back, 2 nuts at the front. Sounds simple, except of course the seat in a wrong position. So now I've got to start the car, so just I could move it forward and backwards like I'm setting it up for the road trip. And while it's not even bolted down yet, one wrong tap on the throttle and this thing will launch itself into the back seat. Right, so the seat is finally back in a place. I can start cleaning, and then I'm not too sure if I start cleaning or remove the headliner. Probably it's gonna be a better idea to remove the headliner, because obviously a lot of dirt is gonna go on the ground. So maybe we should leave the cleaning for the very last, until everything is gonna be sorted out. Because now at the moment that I got a problem is that the car works for a moment and then it shuts down. All the system, everything is blank. Just literally no sound, nothing. Absolutely no communication with any kind of modules, nothing. So I'm just waiting and see what's gonna happen. And afterwards, after let's say maybe like 2-3 minutes, there's a loud bang in the back, somewhere in the back of the car, and the ignition comes back. So I'm not too sure what is the shortens out and switches all the system off. Don't even know. I need to again dig it into the electrical problems, because all of this happened after I washed the car. So I don't want to leave this car, you know, like that, but every single time you're gonna wash it and there's gonna be a problems. Right, back in the garage where it's actually dry and warm, because I got this diesel heater now. So what I need to do now is remove the roof lining, because it's very soggy. And I got a very special thing to install onto a roof lining as well. But that part still haven't arrived. I need to prepare the roof lining before I'm installing that special thing. Let's say it's an upgrade. I really liked it on my 7 Series, so I'm gonna be putting in here as well. I've seen a couple of videos how to remove the roof lining itself. It doesn't seem too very difficult. But the only problem I got that the car doesn't have ignition now. So I'm not worried a lot about that now. Also, something is set on fire on the front, on the left side. So I need to check it what's actually set on fire in there as well. But I want to finish with the interior, so that would be job complete. It would be actually smell nice, because now at the moment I can still smell the, you know, things like this. So I need to clean up everything nice, like I said. Let's attack on the roof lining first. Now remember when I said I watched a video how to do this? Yeah, clearly I didn't pay attention, because when I got the center light console I had no idea how it was supposed to come out. So what do? I just remove everything else instead. Sun visors, roof handles, anything that looked like it might be in the way. Proper, if it's screwed on, it's coming off energy. And finally, my brain decided to clock in for work. I suddenly remember there is a couple of torque screws holding the center light console in. Of course they are. Same story with the rear light console. Hidden screws everywhere like it's some sort of the treasure hunt. And let me tell you, working inside a Bentley isn't just a job, it's a full yoga class. First time attending, no warm up, and the instructor shouting, "Bend more!" while you're wedged between the seats and the headliner trying not to snap anything. But bit by bit everything comes loose and the roof lining finally starts dropping. Right, I just lost my microphone's magnet, so if the sound is a bit different, I'm sorry about that. But the roof lining is kind of ready to be taken out. But the problem that I have now is that the car doesn't have any power. It seems like the battery would be disconnected, but the thing is, the battery actually itself is connected. Just the car itself decided to cut off all the electric. Nothing works. Seats doesn't work. I cannot open the windows. So the only thing how I can sort it out and open the windows and the only thing how I can actually get the seats moving and the windows open so I could remove the roof lining, which is on my head, is actually I need to start the car. So when the car is started, I can operate the windows. Well, at least that's what I thought. Oh yeah. So the windows are now open and I can actually operate the seats as well. But as soon as I switch the car off, there's no more ignition. Everything is shut down. I still can take out the key. The phone starts beeping and it's pretty much it. Again, no ignition, nothing. Until there's gonna be noise in the back, which sounds like boom, and the ignition gonna come back again. So this is the weirdest thing ever. But like I said, I think that's gonna be something to do with a blown fuse or something, because I washed the car and I'm assuming that there is no bumper, you know, and no headlights. Maybe some water got into some plugs and it's just short in the system. So turns out behind the B pillar there is a 8mm nut that you need to remove in the both sides. So you can just about put your ratchet in there and untighten it, and then afterwards everything is gonna be quite easy. Now can finally take it out. I can finally take it out. Yes. Right, so the roof lining is now out. I need to remove all the accessories from it so I could have a nice and easy access to all the leather that I need to remove. And then I'm gonna start peeling it off so I can. Right, so that's one light, one side. Then there's another light onto the other side. Couple of plugs and it should come out, yeah, just like that. Actually, this is my first time working on a roof lining and I'm not even pretty sure what I'm doing. I'm just hoping that I'm not gonna make it worse. Assuming this should untight. Yeah, so I need again number 8. So in the back there is, I can see 6 nuts that I need to remove so I can actually take out the leather. Every single bolt is removed, but it still doesn't want to get out from here. There you go. It's probably because it's been glued to the leather itself as well. Here we go. It's not leather, it's just a glue. This section as well needs to be re-glued because it's all bouncy. Nobody likes a bouncy stuff. And this is, I'm assuming that's a glue, which actually shouldn't be too hard to remove it. Right, next job on the Bentley, peeling the leather off the roof lining. Sounds glamorous, yeah? Nope, this is one of those jobs where you instantly regret your life choices. So the roof lining comes out and now you go to peel off the old residue. You have to get it totally clean so the next adhesive actually sticks. But obviously I'm a lazy person, so instead of doing it properly like a sane human, I start looking for the quickest way possible. For the roof lining itself, I grab a hard brush and just go to town on it. Like I'm scrubbing the world's fanciest barbecue grill, dust everywhere, bits of old glue flying around, proper chaos. And then there's a leather. Normally you peel it back slowly, carefully, 1 centimeter at a time. Yeah, absolutely not doing that. I would be here until the next Christmas. So I'll whip out the steam cleaner. Obviously it's going to get the leather dumped, soaked even, but honestly I'd rather let it dry while I go and do something else than sit there picking it like I'm peeling the sticker off the new phone. Couple of passes with the steamer and it starts lifting way easier. Not pretty, but it works. Little by little all the residue comes off, the lining gets clean, and we're finally ready for the fresh adhesive. One of those jobs that feels like it should take 10 minutes, but it ends up taking all afternoon. Right, I finally managed to remove all the old adhesive from the roof lining and also removed everything from here. So what I was been using to remove all this so clean, it was just a normal brush. It's kind of a hard one and it actually worked pretty well. And for the leather itself, I needed to remove all the excessive adhesive as well, because if I'm gonna put new adhesive onto the old adhesive, it's obviously not gonna stick and obviously gonna drop down again. So I really do not want to remove this headliner once more, so I just removed all the excessive adhesive with steam So I removed all the excessive adhesive with the steam. It was actually pretty easy to remove it. So it took me about 2 hours to remove everything. And I would say it turned out pretty well. The only minus thing about removing with the steam cleaner, that everything is now kind of soaked. Well, it's not really soaked. It's, you know, it's damped. So I need to wait till it's gonna actually dry. And I left the corner pieces of the leather onto the roof lining, just because I will know exactly where everything goes back in a place, and I do not need to, you know, afterwards lift it up and wiggle it so it would go back to the position. So the only thing that I will need to do is just wait till it's gonna dry off a bit, and then I can reglue it everything and wait till it's gonna dry. Because the next thing what I'm gonna be doing on this roof lining itself, I need the leather to be dry as much as possible, otherwise it's just gonna soak down and drop. In the meantime, I'm gonna check all the fuses around the car to check is there any blown fuse that it actually keeps the car in, let's say, hibernation mode or something, because that's how it actually feels. It just switches off all the power until it wakes up, and after starting the car it just shuts down again. So I think there might be a fuse or something else. I'm hoping it's a fuse, because that would be a very easy to fix. Right, so there is a few things that I need to check. I need to check if the power is actually arriving to the front of the car, and if it does, then I actually can connect my probe tool and check the fuses in the front. If the power doesn't arrive to the front, then it means there's a problem in the back. So I got my multimeter now set it out, and let's see if I got any power at the front. Right, so this is a positive, that's the negative. Yes, I got 13.27 volts in only one of the terminals. Other terminal is only 3 volts, and another terminal is again only 3 volts. But this one I'm assuming is gonna be main. So now I need to put the probe tool and go through all of the fuses, and hopefully that's gonna be an issue, just a blown fuse. Right, I'm just wondering if it's actually gonna work. Oh yeah, it works. That's a negative, negative. Right, I got 2 fuses that I want to check, and they might be blown. But the thing is, why it shows that it doesn't get any connection on either side of the fuses. So that's either way you need to turn on the ignition and then recheck it. But obviously I'm not gonna have an ignition. Oh well, I will have an ignition, but it would have any electrics working. You know, let's put the ignition. Let's turn on the ignition and see if this is gonna change. So I took those 2 fuses out, and they're actually good. So now I need to push the car in the front and check the back. I want to show you the noise that I actually got, because I got ignition now. But if I'm gonna start the car and I'm gonna straight away shut it off, the ignition gonna disappear. I'm leaving the camera and the microphone here. I need to turn on the ignition with the key now, and you will hear the sound. Just listen. And that's the sound I'm getting every single time. Just standing in here, and I seen some spark coming up literally from this section in here. So either way, this is secondary charge or something, but I seen a spark literally here in this section. So I need to grab the light and check it, what is actually the problem, because there might be a loose cable in here. Turns out that wasn't a spark, there was actually a light which came on and turned off afterwards. So I think this is gonna be the case. I'm not too sure how this part is actually called, but if this one doesn't let the power through the battery correctly, this might be faulty. So either way, I need to check the fuses. If maybe there's some kind of the fuse blown, and it just gets power from the alternator, and then afterwards it just switches off when it doesn't receive enough of power. Or other case, it could be the part itself that it failed. So let's check the fuses first, and then we will see. I might need to take this one off. This is how I do not know how the Bentleys work. All this time, what it was, it's just a flat battery. So that device over there that I will show you before, I think it switches the power from one battery to another battery, and if one of the batteries are actually flat, it turns on onto another battery. So all that time what it was only flat battery. So I just need to put the battery on charge and that's it. And I think all the problems gonna disappear. Well, done me. Live and learn. Fake alarm, everything is okay. As I actually sorted out the issue, what it was just a flat battery. Obviously, that's my own fault, and sorry for disturbing a piece in your mind, because it turns out I just needed to charge the battery. That's why the car was acting strange. And now I can finally put the leather back, because everything is kind of dry. So let's put some glue on and stick it on. Right, time to spray the adhesive. Game plan, do one side at a time so I don't glue myself to the ceiling. So I blast the first half with a can, this stuff gets everywhere, let it go tacky, then drop the leather on, stretch it out, smooth the bubbles, flip it over, same again. Shake the can like a maniac, spray, stick, stretch. And somehow I haven't glued my arm to the headliner. Both sides done, miracle, honestly. This is our finished product. I'm actually pretty happy how it looks because I done it first time. Obviously there's few mistakes, few stretch marks, but I'm not too sure if I done it or it was before. But the roof lining itself and all the leather is intact, everything is in a place. So I'm just gonna leave it for a while until the special upgrade part is gonna actually arrive, and then I'm gonna be installing that onto the roof lining itself. Let's leave it like this for a moment and see if it's not gonna drop. We got our interior kinda completed, I sorted out the issues with the electrics. Turns out it was a flat battery that I need to charge, so that's not a big issue at all. So I want to check and see where that fire came from, or smoke. I haven't filmed it obviously, as usual. So I need to check what's melted in this section here somewhere. Obviously it's next to the engine, so I'm just hoping I won't need to drop the engine third time. Fingers crossed. Right, so the car has been left overnight to charge the battery. Let's check if the key works. And nothing. Battery is now definitely shows 12 volts. And is it moving? Yep. Seat is moving back and forth. Is the car gonna lock? No, the car still... Oh yeah, it locks. Look, it just locked. And it just unlocked. So all that thing is stressing about, oh, the gremlins and everything else, it was actually just a flat battery. In the future, I will keep this in mind, because never in entire my life I had two batteries in the car, and now I actually know. So I'm gonna keep this in mind now, that if the car starts acting very strangely, I got a flat battery, and if I'm gonna hear that tunk noise, then it's gonna mean that the car is working on a second battery and is trying to charge the other battery. Done me, lesson learned, live and learn. Right now, I need to lift the car on this side and check what's actually set on fire. And another round with a jack. Honestly, I should just build a small crane in a garage at this point, or at least get a scissor lift. Hey, maybe somebody wants to give me a scissor lift? So turns out all the time while it was set on fire and was smoking, it was this. So this is the active engine mount, I think like a sensor or something. And it actually, if you can see, it started to burn right here in the bottom, and it went in this side as well, and it smells like it's burnt plastic. So this is the thing that was actually melting, and how I'm gonna replace it, I have no idea yet, but I will try to take it out from the old engine without breaking it, if it's not broken already, and put it on this side. Yeah, I wonder what's inside. And also I found a couple of wire guards, let's say like a pipes, plastic pipes that we started to melt a bit, so I need to reroute their way so they wouldn't touch next to the exhaust. Right, let's try and see if I can get my sensor off, because I think I got that sensor already taken off somewhere. Obviously the sensor on the other engine is broken as well, so I took the broken piece. This one is actually haven't been burned out, so I'm gonna try to put this one in with some glue, I would say. That's a metal glue, I think. So that's, I'm not even sure how that glue is actually called. I'm calling it sausage. So just gonna try to put it on. This is where I need to put it on, over there. How I'm gonna reach it, I'm not even sure. I managed to take it out from the bottom, but how I'm gonna put it back in here, I don't know, because obviously this one like that is not gonna fit. And if I'm gonna try to do it from the top, you know what I mean. You can't even see it where it actually goes. Okay, let's give it a go. I don't know how, but somehow I managed to put it back in a place. The only thing is I cannot actually test it until the glue is gonna dry, and they're drying about 24 hours, I guess, or something. So with that terrible disappointment, I will have to end today's video. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, you know what you need to do. Just click that subscribe button. That's gonna help me a lot, and I need to get 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So make sure you're gonna subscribe this channel, and I will see you in the next video. I'll polish the car a little bit just for the curiosity, obviously without any sanding paper or something, but look at that, how shiny it is.